Hi, I'm just trying to get the gist of this. I'm actually using the BeLive.tv beta version. So I'm back at the Mac at Meningie. Hi Fawn, how are you? I can show, yes, I can show the comments. They do come up. I'm assuming they're coming up in the live version that's actually showing on Facebook. There still is a little bit of experimenting. Well, it's not experimenting, it's playing with the new improvements that are in the beta. And I'll continue to have some fun with that, I think. Now, what I've got here is moving over to my eCam as I'm doing that, just to show that the spread is there ready on the table still to go through the explanations. And what I'm trying to do, oops, sorry, my chair was flipping around. So what I do now is I'm going to drop down to that. Part of doing this with the dropping the scenes in and out is a little more tricky than the eCam Direct. Right, no sound. Okay. Right. Is that bringing the sound in, Fawn? With that, I've just got to wait for the delay to cease so that you can comment. This is where the trickiness of doing the share screen comes in and having to use the camera differently. Is there still no sound? Let me have a look there. I'm not sure. Host chat. Got it now? So that is, I've got to have the share screen up as well. I'm not 100% sure now how it works with this one. But anyway, if I just do, so it was when I Right, so it's looking like with that, I need to actually get the sound. So that's the sound is up now. I'm here, I'll help you. Thank you so much, Fawn. Thank you. I'll just do that. Whoops, I've just got to do that. Now, what I'm going to do, right. I am on screen by myself, or whoops, or as a combo. Let's see how that works. I am having a chat there with both. I'm going to put both of these back up, and we'll start with the both. Now, there's me, and there's the shared screen that I'm bringing in using Ecamm that actually shows my table that's got the cards on, of course. And it's lovely to have the help. Thank you, Fawn. And I have noticed in the live stream on the page itself, my page, that John's present there. And so one thing I can't, so I haven't got a big enough screen to do the share split screen to have two windows open at once. I mean, it is, but it makes it just a bit too small when I'm doing the presentation. So I'm just hoping so I can see the other comments that aren't coming in direct here. No, so they're not coming in from there. It's definitely going to have to work this one out eventually, and it will happen. So thank you for patience. Now, got it. Now, Fawn, if you're still, thank you for being here still. With this dual screen, you've got both of them up. I have sound. You can hear me. Right. So the single card screen is when it goes silent. If you could type that in, it'd be wonderful. Thanks. And then I've at least got feedback on it to look back later and play around. I'll do it more in a private group, but that sort of thing you can't, like, you know, to myself as a tester, but I can't test the sound that way. It's sort of got to be live to do it. So I do very much appreciate your help here. And even anyone else that's watching, if you can comment where the sound is. Now, that's with the two screen. I'll drop down the shared screen and it's only me. So with me singly as the view that you're watching, is that showing up? That this showing up? Is it that you're hearing what I am saying in this single screen? And I'll swap it round and do it the other way so that we can tell, is it so I'll go back to that so you can hear me while I've got both that up. So if I try it that way and go to my Ecamm and take that off, you should at least see me in the little corner with the card layout and you can hear me. I just want to verify that before I go into the description of the spread. So if you could do that would be lovely. So yeah, I've just Fawn, when I actually do the live, it's got a delay so that when I see your comments and when you've seen what I'm streaming, there is about 10 to 15 seconds delay. So what you're commenting is after what I've actually presented on the actual video. It's one of those little anomalies that they have to do. So, you know, to have a delay thing. So with this one, if you could say, you know, is it the double screen or the one with the little me and the cards sitting in it that you can hear me, or if it's, you know, the fact that I'm up like that. These are the different aspects I can have. That's a full screen. And this is the latest comments. Yep, so I'll do it that way. So that's the full screen of each side of the number of people that are on here, which is 2, me and the shared screen. That's the full screen. The full screen, this is shrunk down a bit. Oh, and I can stop that scrolling somehow. I've just got to try and figure out how to do that. And there it is. That one's off, and I can put this one on instead as well. So there's the shrunk down bit to allow for those comments and anything there. Hi, Julia. And it's great to see another person in. So with that, you can hear me when it's the shared screen. As soon as I drop me down and make it the card screen with you in corner, I can hear you well. Right. Good. I'll leave it at that for this one, because I am doing this as a BeLive beta. It's a newer version they're coming out with, that they'll make it the standard, but once things are ironed out a little more, because there are some new features in it each time. So I'm testing it, and that's why a bit more of the experimenting. So what I'm going to do, that's the little one, and this was the one I've shared that way, where you can see the cards in the corner like that. And this is the way I'm going to present it, because I will be moving the table over. And unfortunately with the eCam, I can't get rid of that white corner of description and the rest there. And because eCam, I can actually present direct to Facebook without going through the BeLive, but I want to do the screen sharing in this way. So that's what I'm persisting with. If it doesn't work out, it might change later to something else. Now, I'm still trying to find where my line is. I've got it. Good. And I can see there's, whoops. And I have noticed in I've just got the live stream. So, and that's where the delay is. I'm wanting to see the comments as I go, because it does show up where people are watching without making comment, and that's fine. So now that it's 8:30, I'll just make note that it's about the 14 minutes in, and I'll put a note on that. For those who want to just pop in to watch the replay, they can be marked to jump ahead to the 14-minute mark, and that's what I'll be doing. Now, to start with the reading itself, what we've got is the, for the energy today, this is the spread that I've had come up, and you might see a bit more of my head. I can't change the size of that little insert, so whereas on the eCam I can. But what I've got in that first position, which is the, I was going to just quickly explain why I've got the other deck out. I was going to quickly explain, and I'll do this as a solo. I'll do it this way, because here I saw the deck on my table before I came in, and it's the Chocolate Lovers message cards. And because I still haven't had breakfast and I've sort of gotten into doing this, I got distracted. Woke up about 6:30 and I got into stuff and got distracted. What I've got there is it's saying welcome home and happy home, those lovely chocolates. Not that you'd eat them for breakfast. But what it's got on the back is absolutely relevant for my decision to actually go back home to Port Elliot. And that's not showing up as clearly as it could. I'll have to take a picture of the back and insert it into the reading, into the cards, as I had them before. So now I'll go back to this. Distractions. I do it a lot, don't I? Now, what we've got in that first one, I've got to get my little stick, my Apple pencil. Here I've got the pair that is dice and paths or choices. And that's what it means. It was the roll of the dice almost of the choices that I needed to make. And this is for someone that I'll meet and what comes out of the meeting. So through today, I mean, there's been a lot of discussion with my partner and I as far as what I do because of the housing situation and where I want to be. It really is. As you're coming into your 60th year, you start to think about retirement and things like that. So I started getting to thinking, where do I really want to be? And after some wonderful tenants, I decided to, I was thinking of selling my Port Elliot home. So a lease wasn't renewed, wasn't offered to renew. And that was a bit sad because they're lovely tenants, but I was planning to sell. What it's turned out to be is as soon as I drove around the corner to go and see what, you know, in an empty house, what needed doing before selling, it felt like such a strong impulse, a strong pull to, I was going back home. So that's what I've decided. I'm going to go back and make it my home again. So that is the decision I've made. So that roll of the dice, it almost was because, you know, there's the two properties, there's the choice to make and start to plan around retirement. That's what that means for me. As you can see, it's a very easy one to decipher because it is roll of the dice choices. So what that means for you, good luck with what decisions you make. And this is with someone I care about, and I'm still thinking, you know, as far as that is our woman and the parks, public places, and what's going to, what they're going to be doing. So I know that there's someone I care about being very, very busy a lot of the time, and you know, some involvement that I'm having with a particular person. Leanne, you probably know what that means for you, me, and psychic fairs at the moment. June, we were only talking about it last night, that June is quite busy, and that's me getting out in the public and offering what I do with the readings, and that at Port Perry, and then it'll be Broken Hill, Port Lincoln, Adelaide Psychic Fair. That is directly speaking to me of that. So, and then we've got someone annoying, and what will they do? So it's actually 19 is the towers and 6 is the clouds. So it almost seems like there's some work happening in building up some type of a business or an interest for themselves, and it's moving. My focus is going here. I'm seeing some shape in that, which I've never noticed before. It almost feels like it's somebody who's running. You know, if you just let your eyes soften and see these different things in the cards every time. It doesn't mean that there is a set meaning for every card each time, if you get what I mean. You just understand that gut feeling and that first thing that comes to the mind, to the head, to the heart, whichever way it speaks to you when you look at the cards. But I'm seeing a running person there. So it's almost like the annoying person is actually either running towards or running away. The direction I'm seeing that figure running is down and more into the clouds and below. So it's probably just trying to run away a bit from some of the work that's needed in, and that could be me. No. Do I find myself annoying? Gee, sometimes. I have been told I can be annoying. We all can. So I just take it as you can. Now, I am going to move this again. I might just drop it down so it doesn't give you any sort of feeling of sickness type thing, and move it over so I've got the cards closer. Then I'll go up. Now, hopefully that didn't super. It is super. I love doing this. Anyway, I got to go back to that view. Yeah, interesting. Now, we've got up to the annoying. Now we've got the consoling part. And from the trends, it's interesting how the cards actually work over the length of time that I've been doing them now. I have been seeing some of the pairing actually repeating itself a bit, and I'm finding that just so interesting. Hi, says, there's more that's on my page. Sorry. Cheryl, you're watching. Hi. And Susan, hello to you all. And now where did I get? Here we go. The snake. and the mountain. So it's just a few challenges there in something that'll console me. Obviously, I'm meant to have a few challenges in something, but the consoling for me is actually mountains. Even though they can have those blocks, there is always those views that when you change your perspective just a little, and you're looking out over the distance instead of down in fear, which I've experienced very definitely with mountains. That's the message, is that I'll get past it. The consolation, the consoling factor is, it'll move past that. And especially with the lots of different things I've got to be planning and the rest now too. And that's partly to build up, get back to having that foundation of my home being set. It will happen. We're moving into the 5th one, I think, now, which is something that awaits me. And I am definitely seeing 41 is the well, 8 is coffin. It's the closing off of a part of my life after all that's happened in the last couple of years, basically. That it was only just recently the anniversary, like the 1st 1 year anniversary of Mum passing, and the year before Dad passing. And, all that I've experienced in that moving on, it is the final step I'm feeling of having that complete and my wishes being met, my delving into that depth of what I'm going to be doing and how I'm going to be doing it actually coming to fruition. And this time I'm not going to change the camera. I'm just going to go very slowly in moving my table, my slider. I've got a slidey do the drawer part of a drawer in a wonderful desk that I was basically inherited. Dad and I spent some beautiful time together writing his books here at this desk, so I treasure it. And now we're moving into the next one that is something that will help me. This is older male and the sun. So that to me is just sun being yang energy in this instance. I'm just feeling that really great, fantastic, like it's the male yang energy, the strength of getting things through in help. And it is with moving furniture and things like that, at some point in the next few months, that's what will be happening again. And it's just knowing that there is that help around and with me all the time. It's great. I'm quite enjoying that reconnection in male energy. And we then move on to something that will happen that will surprise me. And this here is 37 is time, part of the expanded deck, and 28. That the reason of having 2 men in this deck is because the older man is the one that's part of the expanded edition of the Lenormand deck I'm using, and this is the younger man. So it's all aspects of the male energy are at play with me now, and with time it will be there when needed. That's what I'm sensing from that. Okay, so do remember to take from all this what you need as well. Now, just moving that in that last little bit, because I just realised I've missed the end. And I probably will have to move it out to get the whip or not. Get the whip. I've got a good friend that some discipline she uses for her dog. She only has to say it and they understand. Very well trained. Never used. 42 and 3, that's in the position of something that I desire. Whether I'll get it or not, it may or may not happen, but certainly the travel and certainly a compass. So travel can be the moving. To me, it actually is speaking of that, because that's the energy around my decision and what is going to happen in the next few months. So, by springtime, it'll be beautiful, perfect, freshened up house for me to make my home for the next 10, 20, 30 years. None of us know what everything is going to be. We just plan and do as the flow of life continues. And I'm just so looking forward to actually having that settled feeling and working within the space that I love, and a walk to the beach because it's Boomer Beach over the hill. you know, all the anticipation of that. So that is something that I do desire, and whether it happens or not, you know, that's the interpretation I'm putting with this and this reading for this morning. And 11 is the whip, and 13 is the child. This one's something nice. And honestly, it's just for me with child. I've got 5 grandchildren. I miss not having as much connection with them. I miss not seeing them as much as I'd like to. And life's had a bit to play with that in circumstance. But there's times where we actually do need to crack the whip and plan and actually make things happen if we want them to be a part of, you know, to be a fact of what we're doing. That's what it's telling me. So it's pretty much cracking the whip. And I'm feeling for that part. There's something nice. It is set the date, get the logistics happening to have the family together, where I've got all 5 grandchildren together would be absolutely fantastic. So sooner would be lovely. We'll see how that pans out with all that I'm having to do and plan again, you know, sort out logistics and blah, blah. So that is actually what the reading is for today. And seeing that as it is there, you need to actually analyse for yourself what you can take from those cards. Take your gut feeling from it. And at some point, I will be placing all of these readings in the closed group that I've got. It is Hypnosis Plus with Roz card reading group. I think I've named it. It is closed. Just let me know if you want to be invited into it, and it'll show each of them as the daily. At least that's my plan, is to do that. And it'll be able to show some of the trends of what some of these cards are, because some of the combinations I know I've had before, as I mentioned. So thank you very much to everyone for watching, and even for those who do decide to watch a replay of it and learn from it. They're a wonderful deck of cards. I am concentrating on the Lenormand for these because I enjoy the artwork in the cards, as well as the simplicity of how to read with them. And at some point in the card reading group, I'll delve into a few more different decks. But for now, this is my daily reading, and I'll anticipate getting this tomorrow around the same time. It might be a different platform. It could be StreamYard. It could be Ecamm by itself. It could be, I don't know. That's the exciting part of it, in just experimenting and playing with how we can do live stream and sharing all of this information in different ways. So thank you very much for being here. And I'm going to finish off there and move back to the single screen as I complete finding where I finished the actual live stream. So bye for now, and see you tomorrow.